Let me share my screen first. Okay, if I go through what we have already done, the first week we did the introduction, and these are the course content actually. In first 3 weeks, we completed from introduction up until the UI design with Figma. We started designing with Figma, and today we are going to do more advanced Figma details, and we are going to take one project and try to do it from the beginning to the end to follow the whole UX process. And after the break, I will give you the capstone project. I actually already published it on our Google Classroom. So this is our capstone project. So we will go through this and I will give you more details about it and what are the deliverables, what are the guidelines. We can discuss it after the break. All right. Apart from that, this is the lecture one. We talked about what is UI and UX, job roles and essential skills that you require and how you can improve, how to think like a UX designer, and how to create a portfolio and what is it. In second week, this is what we discussed. We discussed about UX process and methods different companies use and how to apply the UX design process practically. And what is empathy and why is it so important in design thinking? How to do a user interview? What are the questions that you should ask to get a user input about your projects? And do a competitor analysis. And finally, creating personas and user flows for your application design. And last week, we discussed color psychology and color theory, typography, how to create a style guide, how is it different from a design system or branding guidelines, and how to create a UX, creating wireframes, and we discussed about few UX laws as well. And finally, on Figma, we did few tasks. We introduced you to Figma and we followed few boolean operations on Figma. These are the boolean operations: union, subtract, intersect, and so let me show you an example, this one, and exclude in boolean operations. And we talked about responsive design layout and use of the grid, how many columns we should have in different device sizes. For an example, we do 12 column layout in desktop size, 8 columns for tablet, and 4 for mobile. An auto layout, okay, we covered up until here. If you have any questions regarding previous sessions or last week Figma, you can ask now. I have given you a task actually, but I forgot to share the link on Google Classroom. But right now you have it on Google Classroom. So why don't we start by doing the task that assigned already?
Am I
I will,
audible? Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
I have few questions and I'm doing this practicals only. I figured like these are the questions that I'm having.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure, go ahead.
I was trying to get this roller, but like I don't know how to do it properly. The
Okay,
measurements rule, and also I need to know what is the difference between the frame, card, and the padding.
yeah, sure. So let's talk about the ruler. I will get a blank frame here.
So recording, I can't see it properly.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's create a ruler for an instead. So what you can do is you have two rulers on your x-axis and y-axis, right? These two.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want a ruler here, what you can do is go to your y-axis and the icon will change to something like this, the two arrows. And you have to drag, press on it like click on it, the ruler, and drag it to your frame like this. It will show on top how many pixels it is moving when comparison to the frame itself. So I will stop it when it says 60. And we can change it later as well.
So from left side to the desktop side, it should be 60. That's how you
Yeah,
measure from the ruler, right?
yeah. So you can change it later on as well. Right now it shows as 61. So you can move 1 pixel and it will be 60. And for right hand side as well, so what you can do is the width is 1440. So if we minus 60 is 1380. So what you can do is you can drag this and stop as 1380
And
right here.
column, what did you reduce like from what to what?
From frame size, so the desktop size is 1440. So if we
Okay.
need a line with 30 or 60 padding, you have to minus that value, reduce that value from the frame size. So
Okay.
1380. So it is something like this. It is similar if you want a ruler in y-axis. You can just drag it here and let's give it 60 as well. So if you zoom all the way in, you can see the pixels also. So that 60 is number of squares here. So we have 60 squares until our ruler line. And even for the bottom, the size is 1024. So if we minus 60, I'm sorry. So if I want to create a line from all the way bottom, so I can do the same thing. So that is how we can create a ruler. So you can, for an example, let's say we have different elements here. I will copy one of these. In your website, you have a heading here. Let's see. I will increase the font size as well. And then you have some image or a card like this. So if you want to align everything in the same line in x-axis, it is a good practice to start off with the ruler. And when you have so much content here, for an example, if you're designing a website or a mobile application, there will be so much content on your y-axis or even the x-axis. So that is why the rulers are there. So you can align everything perfectly and uniformly to match your designs. So that is about ruler. What was your second question?
You said like from the menu how to identify the frame card and the padding.
Yeah.
Even though like I got an idea regarding roller, like the second step maybe that you are telling us to get a frame or a card. No. So how to identify that through the menu?
Okay. So for an example, let's say you want to create a responsive layout. So what you have to do is when you let's create a card. Okay, let's create a web layout so you can see it clearly. Let's create this one right here. Okay, if we need to create this kind of a layout, you can clearly see that there are a few components. We have logo, we have a navigation bar, and we have this heading text here, and the paragraph and call to action button. And also there are two images with the blue color background. So we can start off with one thing. So the main frame website should be there. So what we can do is go to this, and once you click on this, this will create a frame. So you can mouse over it and see it is creating a frame. So we are going to select desktop size, and I'm going to rename it as web. So that is one way you can create a frame for your main design. So that is for
Okay,
the
you said that is for responsive, what did you say?
responsive design actually, and
So,
also as a, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, responsive design means that we can, move it to everywhere, or it's with lot of paddings and card.
No, actually responsive design is it will adapt the design and the design element based on the screen size. For an
All right.
example, you can use the same design and drag and drop, and maybe you can change the size of the mainframe, and elements inside it with will adapt accordingly. So that is responsive design. For an example, let's go to
That's
one
what you
website.
meant last week with the, it will be mobile or
Yeah, yeah,
desk. You can
yeah.
copy paste. It will adjust according to the size, right?
Yes. So for an
Oh,
example, when we have coded this, so if you go to Google and go to inspect elements right here, it will show you the responsive layout. So if you want responsive layout, you can change the sizes and it will adapt according to your screen size, the design. So that is the responsiveness I was talking about.
so basically for this responsive design, like with the frame only, all the things, I mean, the layers will be flexible, right?
Yeah, so with like when you have the frame, you have this option, auto layout and layout grid, and there are other options such as constraints and so on. So if I can here, right here. So if you don't have a frame, if you create a group here, you don't get these options, constraint and auto layout. So it will be really hard for you to do the things manually. So always create a frame first, or every element when you're doing UX design. So even for the button, if you create a button text right here, sign up, what you can do is click on it and frame selection. Don't group selection, do the frame selection. So it will give you all these options, and you can add horizontal padding by changing this, and vertical padding by changing this. And these options are there. Is it clear?
Yeah, so anyway, like if you are going to write anything or whatever, if you are changing it as a frame, it will be like more flexible to do other stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what.
So it will adapt based on the content inside. If you have very longer text actually, uh, sign up now. You can see that it is adapting based on the content we are putting inside that particular frame.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay. So
And the other one, the card and the padding.
yeah, card is actually the term I use to show you this. This is a card when we card or a sticker. So padding, you can add padding by changing this value, horizontal padding and vertical padding. So padding, if you add more padding, it will squeeze in the content. But if you have, ideally, it should be something around 30 to 60 based on the screen size and your design requirement.
Oh, padding is basically the size of the this image, right?
No, actually, so let me show you an example. So here we have our button. I will change the background color to more visible one. So this one, and Okay, this is our button without any padding.
Okay.
So it is not that nice, and always try to add some padding to your design. So it will give you more space in between your element and the frame. So if we add something around 10 here, we have more space on our x-axis. So let's change it to 200 or something. So you can see that it is centering the element and adding 200 pixels padding on left and right sides. If you want to do it in x-axis, you can, sorry, that is not, you can add the padding on y-axis as well. So it will add padding on top and the bottom as well. Is it clear?
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
the card is basically a term that that you
Yeah,
have used.
yeah. We can use card or a sticker or whatever we like. So normally we use the term card.
Um,
Okay.
okay.
So any more questions?
And we aren't using the rectangle for anything, right? You didn't use it, right? That's what
No.
I guessed. So what I was did is I get the frame, then after that I have put this square shape
Yeah.
inside the frame. That's why like I can't shift that into anywhere. Then only
Hmm.
I have I got this roller, so like it won't flexible. I couldn't do any steps after that.
Okay. So can we start doing this task right now, everyone? So let me create a page card for me as well. The first task is to create a button component with 3 different states: default, hover, and disable. So I just mentioned how to create a button. What you can do is you can select your text tool and add some text. So I will create 3 different states, default, and let's create the default button first. Give it a, put it inside a frame first and name it as a button. And then we have to add a fill color. I'm going to use a gradient for this one. And change the direction of the gradient to make it more horizontal. And this is how it looks like right now. So I'm going to add auto layout and going to add some padding. So on x-axis, I'm going to add 30 pixels. Y-axis, I'm going to add 15 pixels. So it looks like this. And then I'm going to change the text color to white. And finally, let's add some border radius as well. So 10 or 15 will be ideal. So this is my design. And let's bold our text as well, so it will readable. So can everyone create this? You can find the link for Figma board on Google Classroom, and I already sent it on Zoom chat as well. The next I'm going to do, I will create two states. Next one is mouse over. I will call it over, and finally the disable state. When mouse over, I want to change the color a little bit. I want more darker shade of the blue. So I'm going to change the color a little bit. Mouse over looks like this, and disable. Let's give this 50% of the color. So once you created these three, you have to click on the frame to move it like this.
So I'm finding it hard to join.
Who is this?
Risla Rashad.
Join to the Figma board, is it?
Yes, sir.
I think you're already here. Is it giving any message or something?
No, sir.
Okay, when you click on the link I just shared on Zoom or Google Classroom, what is it saying? Is it loading? Oh,
It doesn't show anything.
okay, I will share the link again. Let me share the link on Zoom chat. Can you try with this link? Okay, Vital is already done. Good. How about others? If you have any questions when you do the design, please tell me so I can help you. Risla said you couldn't join, right? To the board I mentioned.
Yes, I'm trying. I'll try joining.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Okay, let me know. rename your frames to a button. So you always have to make sure you name your frames correctly. Next, what you have to do is after you created all three buttons, default, hover, and disabled states,
So is
select
this
all
correct?
disconnected. I'm sorry.
So is this correct? What I did?
Who is this?
Fumi.
Okay. Uh, yeah, it is correct. Disable state, what is your code here? I think normally in disable state, what we do is we reduce the opacity. So you can reduce the opacity. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
You can reduce the opacity by reducing the value here. So make it something around 50 to 60. So it will give you a better representation of disable button.
Okay, so the difference between three, third one, the opacity should be reduced. The second one, opacity should be fine around 100, right?
Yeah, actually, that is what we do normally. For the default, we put the normal colors, and when someone try to mouse over it, we increase the color a little bit. When the button is disabled, it is not showing up. It is something like grayscale or opacity will be reduced.
Oh, oh.
Vital, can you move your component set to your frame? And you can align them, yeah, like that. Click on auto layout and it will give you options to. Vital, can you see this arrow on auto layout, vertical layout? Click on that button. And you have 185 here. Make it 20 or something. Okay, cool. Okay, Suleiman is also done. Change this in the property section. Suleiman and Vital change the property 1 to state. So these are the button states, default, hover, and disable. Here.
So basically we are using these buttons. If for example, if the delete button is disabled, we can use the third one, right?
Yeah. So there will be few more states actually. These are the main states. So if you go to websites like,
Yeah, I wanted to know an example.
yeah. So let's say we have this button right here. If you go to button CSS, we have, this is the default state. So they have added all these background color. Go to some other website. Okay, we have this button here. If we click on that, we can get that button's design. So we have background color as this. So
This
we
is
can change,
default, right?
yeah, default. So if you
Okay.
want to change the state, what you can do is you can go to force state and hover. So it will give you the mouse over state. So it changed the color. So I don't have disable state here, but disable is the same. So it will show the disable state instance. Okay, now once you created these three buttons, let's see, good. This is also good. Animation. All right. Okay. Once you created three states, you can select all three and then go to create component set and click on that. And it will create a component for you. Now we have a button component with three different states, default, hover, and disable. But for property, we have to change the state, and even for the other buttons, we have to change the state to this one is hover and this one is disable. And this is our button component with three variants, three states.
So can you repeat it?
Yeah. So if I let's create three more buttons. This is number one, this is number two, this is number three. So this one I'm going to name it as, let's say, disable. This one is hover, and this one is default. So you already have these three buttons. So I'm going to increase the color of this little bit. And reduce the color of disabled button. Okay, these are the three buttons we have. What you have to do is first select all three like this. You can select all three in this area and then go to tops, top bar and click on components. Click on this caret icon and click on create component set. Are you following?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And then you have component set and change the property to state. So you have a button with three variants. Okay, once you created these components, you can use this anywhere. So how to access those components? You can go to assets under your name. So you have a nice done. Okay, everyone. Okay, you can drag one of these components that you created. For an example, I'm going to use this one and drop it on your board. When you click on this, it will give you all the states it has: void, disabled, default, and so on. So next to layers tab, there's a tab called assets. Click on that first and then select your name. When you select my name, it will display all the components that you created, the assets, and how many variants are there. And what you can do is you can click on it and drag it and drop it on your screen. That is how we are using this particular button in our design.
So this component is something like grouping, right? The
Uh,
purpose of that we are
yeah,
doing like this.
yeah, grouping, and the purpose is actually we can reuse it. So we are creating a reusable component, so we don't have to create it again and again when we need a button. So we can
And this
use
is
this.
for easy purposes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So whenever you require a button in your design or screen or anything, you can quickly drag and drop this asset and change the color. So let's say you want to change the colors of your button in your website. So if you don't have this component, you'd have to manually go everywhere and change every instance of that button. But here, you can just change the color in the main component. So how you can do is actually, we have all the colors here for different buttons. So let's say you want to change the color of uh, default button to a solid color. And solid color, I'm going to select color like this, and also the text color to be this. And next, we want to change the color of this one as well. So I'm going to go to solid and change the color to this, and text color also will be this. And same thing for the disabled button. Solid and this. And change this to 50%. Change the font color to white. So you can see our asset instance is changing. So if you have so many buttons everywhere in your screen, you just have to change this component and it will change all the instances accordingly. This is really important when you're creating a design system for a website or anything. So the coder can just get the code from this component and create a component from coding as well. So basically in React.js or AngularJS or Vue.js, we have similar component creation. So it will be easier for users to create this. Okay, clear? Ayesha? So
Yes, sir.
okay, in
Can
here
you
actually we have a message here. So in Ayesha's component, we have message some variants have same property values applied. Change the values of these to resolve this. So if you go here, you have first value as default, second value also default, and third value also default. So you have to change your values. So let's do that one. First thing you have to do is you have to change this property to state. So change it first right here. double click on that property. Yeah. And then select your first default button. You can double click on that and select it. So its value is default, which is good. And the second button's value is also default. So you have to change it to
It's
hover.
unable to double click.
So click on the main frame
Okay.
and then double click on the button that you want to select. Or single click if you already clicked on one.
Okay.
Default is good. You have to change the state of hover on your right hand side. And then the disable button to disable. Okay, now the message is gone. Good. Let's see this. So Purely also have to change the property to state, this one. This value to state. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have to change this value right here to state first because you also getting the same error message.
What do you mean? State?
So go to your frame and then click on your component, and we have properties on right hand side, right? Can you follow my screen?
Yeah.
So change this value to state first.
This one.
Yeah, property 1 should be replaced by state.
Uh, you want me to rename it?
Yeah, rename it as state first.
Okay.
Have you done? Yeah, okay. Then we have 3 conflicting values. So your first default button state is also default, the hover button state also default, and the disable is also default. So the default is okay. Change the hover button state to hover. So you can type the value on right hand side. Current variant right here. Type hover. And do the same for the disable button.
Correct,
Okay,
right?
now, yeah, correct. Now you don't have that conflicting warning. So this is good. Now let's see without. So, okay, good. And then Sabani, you have to do the same thing. So the default is okay. Hover is okay. Disable is okay. Hmm.
So what I changed was the property name as in the layer name, right? That is also for
Yeah,
easy
actually
purposes,
you
right?
have,
To identify the things properly, no?
yeah. Otherwise,
Okay.
when someone else is trying to do your design, let's say for a coder or someone, you have to read everything and get an idea. Otherwise, he might have to rename it. So it will be easier for everyone, and even for you when you are coming back and change the design to easily understand what you were done.
Yeah. So through layers, we can see all the names that we have changed, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, in Sabani's layout, I think you have added many components. You created text boxes as components as well. So that is why it is giving this error. But you have three different states mentioned correctly. So let's see what we can do here. Default.
So why aren't the components not showing for me? Actually, I logged in, but the tools are not shown for me.
Who is this?
Rizla Rishad.
Okay. So you post solution. Are you signed up to Figma?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any of these tools are not showing, is it?
Yes, sir.
So can you try to open a different file, start a new file, and check whether you can see all the tools there. We have conflict default. So let's remove this default. So Sabani, I think you have put like for an example text, default text inside Hoover frame and so on. So I resolve the conflict you have. So make sure you don't put one text belong to some other state in a separate one. So make sure to, let's say for an example, default the button background and the text should be inside the default. And for the Hoover is also the same. And for the disabled is also the same. I think you put this inside a frame that is not necessary as well. So I'm going to remove that frame as well. So this is how it should look. Okay, good. So if we go to Suleiman, the first one is default, which is good. And the second one, you have to rename this to something meaningful. Let's say over. And the third one to disable. And rename your main component as button. This the one I already selected, this one. You should rename rectangle 7 to button. Okay. Richard, can you see the toolbars now?
No, sir.
Okay. Have you worked on Figma before? Were those visible during those times?
Yeah, I tried it once. I found it.
Oh,
I found it hard using, but I tried it, and
okay.
the tools were shown. It's not
All
visible
right.
now. I'll try, sir.
Okay, what is your screen size, and can you try to troubleshoot? It should show up. It is not a big deal. So are you using web version, or you downloaded the application?
I download the application, sir.
Okay. Can you try using web version? Go to figma.com and sign up.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So you can follow the recording, and if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay, now let's say you want to add another variant to this particular component set. So what you can do is you can select the component set and click on this plus icon right here, and it will allow you to add another variant. So let's say I want to add fourth variant here. Let's say it active. So this is the active state of the button, and I will change the color to something we can. Okay, I will change the direction of this gradient. So it will look like this. Now I have 4 variants. So even if you need to add another one, you can just click this button and add another variant. So it is easier if you have a component already generated. So now we have done this first part, create a button component with 3 different states and create responsive sticker component with 2 states, dark and light. So I want you to use with this button asset you already created and create a responsive sticker component with 2 states, which are dark and light. So how you can do that is, first you have to create your inner content of your button. Let's say you need to have a paragraph. So this is for the paragraph. I'm going to go to the website like Lorem Ipsum to get some dummy text. Paste them here. Give them.
So you got a text only, right? Not a frame, right?
No, only the text. So we are going
Right.
to frame them all together in the.
Okay.
Okay, now then we need another image for this. So for the card, for an example, we need an image. So in order to put an image, what we can do is we can create a frame. And let's rename it as image holder. Okay, now go to Google and look for some image. And after that, select the frame you already created and paste the image on that. So you can click on paste here, and it will paste the image inside that image holder. So you can resize the image to match your component. So always make sure when you're resizing, don't resize by dragging it from one corner like this. So it will change the aspect ratio of the image. So it won't look nice. So even don't do this. What you have to do is click on Shift key and drag it from this corner. So it will maintain the same aspect ratio that image has. All right, so this is our image and this is our text. And then we need to add our button as well. So to add the button asset, I'm going to go to Asset tab in our Figma and then drag and drop our asset right here. So it will give you this button as well. So can everyone create up until here what I have done? Create a text, paragraph, and then image inside a frame and drag and drop your button asset you already created. So when you're pasting text, let's say if you try to paste text with just clicking on your layout, it will look like this. So let's show that as well. So let's say you select the text tool and try to paste some text. So it will give you a long line of text. So in order to avoid that, what you can do is you can go to text tool and create a square or rectangle to cover the area you need your text, and then paste your text. So it won't be longer, and it will fit in your frame. You don't have to worry about resizing it just now. So we're going to resize them automatically to fit our frame after you complete up until what I have mentioned. Make sure to draw a text box first and then paste your text. Okay, Suleiman is done. Vital is also done. This is Saban is also done. No, Aisha is also done. Okay, next step is to put everything inside a frame. So you have to select image, paragraph, and button like this. And then right click on it, click on frame selection. That will fit inside a frame. And let's rename that frame to card. Select image, paragraph, and button and make it a frame. So after you create a frame, it will look like this. And if you go to layers, you can see that it is renamed as card. And we have button, image holder, and the paragraph we put inside that card. And let's move on to your right hand side, and we have properties there, and click on fill, and it will add the fill color to your design. So I'm going to use the same fill color. It is giving the white color. Inside your card, like click on your card and then go to the properties, and it will have this plus icon right here next to fill. Click on that and it will fill it with the white color. Pumi, I think you have to put an image inside your image holder and move the other elements outside of that image holder. So we are going to put everything in a one frame afterwards. Is it clear? So now you have this image holder, and inside the image holder you have this
My
button and
network is so slow, that's why I'm
okay. All right.
bit
No
that's the issue.
worries. You got what I said, right?
Yes,
Okay,
all good.
cool. Okay, so now let's go to your card again and click on auto layout this time. Auto layout, and let's add some padding. So on x-axis, let's add 30 pixels as padding, and also on y-axis, we are going to add 30 pixels. So your card will look like this. Okay. Now let's add some border radius as well. So how you can do that is you have to select your component, and on right hand side top, we have corner radius option. So what I'm showing you right now. Let's change its value to something around 15 to 20. So I'm going to use 20. So now we have our component. So right now it is not responsive. You can see, even if I try to change the size, it won't fit in. So in order to make it responsive, what we can do is I'm going to make the image responsive first. So click on your image inside your card. All right. And after you click on it, there's an option here called fixed horizontal resizing and vertical resizing. First, switch on auto layout, and then it will switch to this particular variant hug. So if you try to change the size of this one, it's still not responsive. So in order to make it responsive, you have to select fill container on both sides. So if you select fill container and try to change the size, so it is responsive actually. And even for your text, you can do the same. You have to do the same for your text, and make sure you put horizontal resizing as fill and vertical resizing as fill. Now you can see the button is not resizing. So in order to fix that, we have to make some changes to our component itself. So if you go to component, we don't have any auto layout or anything. So let's select one component. Select all 4 components and change it to fill container. And even for the horizontal and for the vertical as well. So I made the change to my button. Okay, Vital is good. Uni is also done. Since Ayesha is also done. Okay, now what we can do is let's change this to hub contents so it will match the size. So everything is hub contents. So for an example, if you select the card, your horizontal resizing should be hub, your vertical resizing should have the value as hub. And also for the image, we have a fill container for the horizontal and vertical. And also for the paragraph, we should have fill container. And for the button, we can use fixed because most of the time you have to have fixed buttons in your design. So if you try to change the value to, let's say, sign, and now you have a sticker element, the card element actually. The next task is to create a dark and lighter version. So I'm going to create another button. So how you can do is you can just click Control plus D on Windows, Command plus D on Mac. So I'm going to follow the shortcut Control plus D. So it will create me another card with the same design. You can put it underneath your card, otherwise it won't have enough space. Same card, copy it and paste it underneath. Control plus D is to duplicate. And to select the card and then press Control plus D. And then you have two instances of same card. So what you can do is you can change the background color. So we need one version as light version and one version as dark version. So I'm going to leave this as light version and leave this, make this one the darker version. So I'm going to change the background color to darker color, this color, and change the text color to white as well. So those are two simple changes I just did. Change the card background color to black and then the text color to white. So it will be readable. Okay, now select those two cards. You can select by doing like select all, like dragging and dropping like this, or you can select the card and press shift key and select the other card. And then click on create component set. Okay. Now we have card components. Number 1, number 2. All right. Let's rename the first property to default. This property right here inside the card, it should be state or something meaningful. And then we are going to add dark mode. So I already show how to add dark mode here from, or any property from here. Now I'm going to just add the code to our layer. So what we can do is we can, in Figma also, when we are creating components, we have boolean values. So we can either put true or false. So I'm going to use that dark mode, the first one, the lighter mode. I'm going to put dark mode is as false. And then for the other one, I'm going to put dark mode as true because it is the dark mode. The first one, we have two values. State is default, dark mode false for the lighter one. And the second one, state is default, dark mode is true. Without, you don't have to put dark mode and light mode both as variables. So if dark mode is on, it is dark mode. If dark mode is off, it is light mode. So you can remove one variable from here. The light mode you can remove. This variable. So one, you have to put dark mode off, and the other one, true or false. First one, the lighter one, dark mode false. The darker one, dark mode true. So I will show it again. So in the card, we have two cards. The first one is light mode, the second one is dark mode. So I add a variable called dark mode false to the lighter version and dark mode true to the darker version. So in that way, we can, when I will show you when we use an asset, it will be easier. So let's see Aisha's cards. So the dark mode is, actually you have to change the dark mode values. The first one, which is light mode, so dark mode is not true, it should be false. This value should be false. And for the dark mode, you have to put this as true. You have to change the values in card, swap the values in cards. Aisha, clear?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay, do that change, and you have to add the values, the dark mode and light mode values.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, okay.
okay. And Vital, for the first one, dark mode is false, and for the second card, the dark mode should be true because it is the dark mode. So change this value to true. But I am showing you right now. This value should be true. Okay, cool. This is Sabhani. So you have to do the same thing. You have to add a new value. For the first card, you have to put light mode, dark mode off, and for the second one, dark mode on. So how you can do that? Actually, you have one card component. So let me help you with that. Right now, you have created a component which has two states inside the same component. So that won't work when we try to do our design. So what you can do is you can create another variant like this. Now we have two variants. And remove light mode variant from this one. Only has dark mode variant. Sivan, can you make the first card as lighter version? So background should be white and the text color should be black. First one. Not the complete thing. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Now this is the light version. And change the colors of this one to black color. Next color should be white. Okay, now you have two different versions, dark and light. So what you can do is you can select one of these. And this one is also default. This one is also, let's say, default. Okay, now in order to put dark mode on for the light mode, you have to select light mode, and I'm going to type here dark mode as false. And for this one, same variable dark mode as true. So you have two different buttons, and you have dark mode false and dark mode true as well as properties. Okay, I think you have to follow the recording and redo the cards, so it will be easier for you to learn. And Vital is good, and Suleiman have to add dark and lighter versions. So when you have dark and light versions like this, what you can do is when you go to your assets, you have different assets. So if you put it inside your card like this, and then click on this asset that you created and put it inside your frame. So it will display like this. Now you can see when you click on this radio button, it will change the color. So if it is off, it is light version. If it is on, it is dark version. So that is how we handle dark and light mode in Figma itself. So you don't have to put light mode and dark mode both in your variables. Just put dark mode and switch it off, it will light mode. When switch it on, it will be dark mode. So is it clear? Do you want me to redo it?
If you don't mind, is it possible to read it?
No, I can actually do it. We have done up until here. So this is Suleiman, right?
Yes, just the card part of it.
Okay. So now you have property.
A lot of issues in my card also, right? Since I got
Yeah,
lot
who
of
is this?
connection network failure only, I couldn't do some steps properly.
Okay, I will demonstrate it. Please follow. So in Suleiman's card, we have two variants. So up until now, this part it's correct. So what you can do is you can select your cards and then inside that you have two variants. So in order to put dark mode on, you have to type this particular part, or you can add a property from here as well. But this is the easiest way, so I'm going to follow that. Dark mode, for the darker version, dark mode is true. And for the lighter version, we are going to put dark mode as false. Can you add that value? Add the comma and then dark mode false. You can copy the text from here and change the value for the type dark mode false. No, not like that. You should add the same because it is case sensitive. So once you add a value, it should be the same. Right now you have two dark modes. Okay, cool. And now you have dark mode true, dark mode false. So this one also have to be case sensitive. So value should be something like this. So now we have dark mode true and false. So if you go to your component set, so where is your card? Suleiman is here. So if you add this one inside your card, then go to Assets tab on left hand side and find your name. You can drag and drop this card wherever you want. And it has an option called dark mode with the radio button. So if you toggle it, it will change the values accordingly, like this. On right hand side under your card, in the properties tab, if you follow my cursor, you can see where you can change the values right here. Select it and change the values. Is it clear?
Yes, that's good. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Ayesha, do you have any questions?
No, sir, so far.
Okay. Yeah, your one is also working fine.
Actually, sir, I couldn't join to the practical. Shall I do it and then let you know? And can I ask any doubts if I do it on
Yeah.
my own?
Yeah, this is Richard, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can follow the recording, and if you have any questions, you can ask on group chat.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And then Piyumi, you have unstable connection. Can you follow the video recording and do the
Yeah, I
remaining?
have to go like that. Otherwise, a lot more steps I have missed.
Yeah,
I'll.
if you have any questions, you can ask on group chat.
All right.
Okay. How about Vital? Any questions? Let me see.
Sir,
Mm.
can
Yeah.
you explain that hug content and fixed content?
Yeah, sure. So if I go here, let me explain it to you by adding a new variable. In here, for the text, we have fill. So hug content is something like this. So if you have a text, so I can't show it to you using text. Let's say image. So fill container will take the size of the container. So whenever we change the size of the container, the image will move with it. So for an example, I may have to create a new card here. Inside this card, I have an image. This is the image I have, and I have a paragraph as well. This is the paragraph I have. So if I this is my main frame, so it is desktop size 1440 by 1024. Right now, if I try to drag and change the size of my frame, it won't affect. So the image and the text will remain the same. So if I change this value to image value to something else, so for an example, first you have to switch on auto layout and then change the value to fill container. And if I try to drag it, it will change accordingly. So it will have the same padding and it will fill whatever the container we have. So it won't fixed. The image size is not fixed. It is responsive and it is changing the value up until some point. So image width is something around here. So it won't scale that much because it is low resolution image. But if you go like sizes something in between the main size of the image and the lesser size of the image, it will change and adapt the screen size accordingly. And we can apply the same thing to our text or the paragraph as well. If we put hug contents, it will show as a one line. But if we put it inside a frame, for an example, let's say I'm going to put it inside a frame and let's say placeholder or something. And then if I add fill container value, it will change based on the container size. And I have to do the same thing for my text as well. So it will change based on the screen size we are working on. Yeah.
You create a rectangle and then put a picture and then a text. Should we create a rectangle at the first place?
I created a rectangle or I created a frame. I think I created a frame.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, inside a frame. So if you want like reusable or responsive components, you should put whatever the component you have inside a frame. So in that way, you have these options, the auto layout and everything, where you can do responsive design. Clear? When
Yes.
you try, yeah, when you try to do a design, when you do so many mistakes, you will figure out how you can change and what are the use of these different properties in like frame section. So you will get to know. So try to use all these properties and try to do your designs. So any more questions? Sabani, do you have any questions? Okay, third one is create horizontal scroll with about 10 stickers in your frame and make sure it's scrollable in prototype way. So we have already created our components, so we can use same stickers from here. So I'm going to remove this variant. So we can use the same thing we already created. Okay. Create a horizontal scroll with about 10 stickers. So in order to do that, we need to have a another frame. So I'm going to, so everyone should create another font size frame. I'm going to use Android large or maybe iPhone. With this one as my main layout. rename it as your name. Create a frame. So let me move my design all the way to the right, and everyone has space here.
So how do you delete a frame once you have added it to the page?
Yeah, select the frame and click delete button on your computer. Okay. So once you create your frame, please let me know.
So it should have a size.
Uh,
Since mistakenly I resized it.
okay. Who is
It's
this?
film,
Hmm.
the frame size. I
Yeah,
have taken it as Android large, but mistakenly
yeah,
size
it's
changed.
fine actually. You can delete it and create a new frame.
Oh,
Okay, I will give you the sizes of the frame actually. The width should be 834, 834. Click on it and change the size. And the height should be 1194. Now, once you created your design, like the frame to the given size, go to Assets tab on your left-hand side and drag and drop the frame you already created inside that. Okay. Now copy it several times. Let's say we need 5 cards. So copy 5 cards of that. So you can use Control+D or Command+D on Macintosh. 3, 4, 5. So it won't show up because it will paste in the same place. So in order to show it up,
Can I get someone's card since my one is not completed?
yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks.
You have to put it as an asset. So go to Assets tab and then drag a card. This is how you can do it. Go to Assets and let's say you want to get my card, and what you have to do is you drag it and drop it in your frame.
What I did was correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
thanks.
Okay, now you have 5. You have to paste it 4 more times. Altogether, you should have 5 cards.
In the same,
Yeah, Control+D, you can duplicate it 4 times.
okay.
So, and then select all duplicated cards. So you should have 5 cards selected inside your frame, and then click on frame selection because you have to put them inside a frame. So those are inside a frame now. So let's see.
How do we know this has 5 or 6, the count?
On your left hand side under your name, there are layers, right? So right now you have 3 cards. Can you see on your left hand side in the layers, there are 3 cards. And you click on that. Yeah, now you have 5.
Okay.
Okay. Ayesha is done. Piyumi is done. Vital.
So how to select all 5 cards?
You can select like this from your layers. Click on the first card and shift key
Alright.
and the final card. Or you can just select like this. Vital, let's see. Okay, we also have 5 cards. And Suleiman also have 5. Sabani.
Then we have to create component set, right?
First, you have to put it inside a frame. So put all of them inside a frame.
So I have selected all 5 then.
Then right click on it.
In the layer.
Yeah, in the selected layer itself. And click
then
on
it
frames
deselect
selection.
that part.
Select all cards and click on frame selection. There are shortcuts as well, so you can do shortcuts when you learn more. So for the demonstration, I'm showing you all the commands.
Frame
Okay.
selection, right?
Yeah, frame selection. Okay, Aisha is good. Piyumi is good. Vital, good. Suleiman, good. Sabani. Subhan, I think you can put a bigger frame because your card size is little bigger. So I will change the size. So you can put this inside that and copy it 4 more times. No, not the main layer, just the card, this one.
So how to change the size of the text? Like
Size of the
the
text.
Yeah, the small letters, we have to make it a bigger one.
Yeah, who is this?
Isla Rashad.
Okay. What you can do is you can select the text in your main component. So this is main component. You can see my screen, right? And select the text icon from here and click on your text or paragraph or whatever, and you can change the text size from here. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Can you show it again? I didn't.
Yeah. So how you can do is, let me spotlight my, okay. So when you have a text component here, select the text tool and go to your paragraph or whatever the heading you have, and you have all the text properties here. You can change the size of your text, you can change the typography or anything. Clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Okay, after you put in everything inside a frame, now you have all the cards, 5 cards inside the frame. So then go to, let's rename it as placeholder. And then go to AutoLayout and click on this plus icon right here. And it will give you this kind of a layout. So every card will align horizontally. I'm going to give it a different face so you can see it clearly.
So can you repeat how to get horizontally?
Yeah. So I will, okay. I'm
You
not
can
going to
show it
undo
from
it.
mine.
Okay. So what you can do is, I'm going to drag this little down. So you have to select this frame you already created, which consists of all these 5 cards, and click on auto layout, this plus icon right here. And when you click on auto layout, it will align horizontally. So if you want them vertically, you can click on this, but we need it horizontally. So we will keep this like this. So in order to, yeah, visible better, you can add a fill and you can add a gap and some padding as well from here. So like I did.
So purpose of this, what we like when it
So
comes to work wise, like what is the purpose that we are doing horizontal?
yeah, horizontal scroll, most of the website, when you're creating mobile application or anything, there can be a slider. So there will be so many data or anything that you don't have enough space to put in. So in order to demonstrate it to our developer or the stakeholder or clients, we use horizontal scroll to demonstrate it. So you can, actually it is really important if you have a text-rich or content-rich website. You can use this horizontal scroll in any use cases,
So
specifically when you have
we are doing a prototype. It's easy if we have like this, right? To explain.
yeah, yeah.
Ah.
Actually, you can use this in final prototype as well, so coders can code it in the same way. Okay. All right. So right now, if you go to your card, the main card you created, if you switch off clip content, it will show all the cards that you created on your horizontal axis like this. So I'm going to switch it off. So this is my frame. If I go to the prototype tab, the present tab, and click on this play button, it will show me the prototype I created. Right now it won't scroll. So it is just there. So in order to make it scroll, what we can do is we have to select our main element, this one, And overflow on scroll behavior, we have to put it horizontal. So it will make it horizontal. So let's see how is it working. It will give you a horizontal scroll. So make sure you change the size of your frame to match and stop it from the original frame. So for an example, let's say if I want to demonstrate it again in someone else's layout. So you can select your frame and then go to the prototype, and under scroll behavior, we have overflow option, and from overflow, select horizontal. So it will give you a horizontal scroll. So in order to check that, what you can do is select the main frame and click on this play button right here, present button. So it will give you the design. So right now I haven't changed it as horizontal. So if I change this to horizontal scroll, it will display here. The horizontal scroll will appear. Can you do that change? So if I check it now, it will scroll horizontal. So it will be helpful when you try to put some content such as images or cards or pricing plans or even testimonials, reviews in a website. This horizontal scroll or carousel will be important. So let's take a 10 to 15-minute break. I think we have discussed all three here. Yeah. And if you have any questions, you can send a message during the break, and we will discuss about our capstone project after the break. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay, welcome back everyone. Let me share my screen. Okay, this part is done. Now let's discuss about our capstone project. Okay, I already added the project on our Google Classroom, and you need to create a traveling experience application. So if I go through it, number one, the objective is to create an assignment is to prompt students to create a concept design for travel experience app focusing on user engagement and intuitive interface within a 2 weeks time frame. So even though I have put 1 second deadline as 6th, if you need 2 weeks for this assignment, you have to tell me on group chat, so we will change the dates accordingly. So maximum is 2 weeks. If you can do it within 1 week, it will be great. So task is actually you are a part of a design team working on revolutionary traveling experience app that connects users with personalized local experience during their trips. Your task is to design the interface for this application, prioritizing ease of use, personalization, and engagement. So you have to make sure your application is personalized based on, let's say, when you're signing up, you can prompt 5 questions from your users. And depending on their answers, you can decide, is this user like to travel? Is this user like to hike? Or whatever. What are the destinations he like most? Does he like scenery or beaches or whatever? So you have to create a personalized experience based on that. So assignment guidelines are these. Number one, you have to brainstorm and outline key features and travel experience app should offer. Consider user personalization, discovery, booking, and engagement. Draft a concept or user story to guide your design process. The first thing you have to do is you have to understand that you have to design a travel experience app. So in order to do that, you have to have some prior experience. If you have prior experience in hotel booking, or if you follow up some use cases or case studies, for an example, let's say the competitors of this application can be TripAdvisor or even Booking.com or any other hotel booking application or travel destination application that you already interacted with. So first is to concept a user story to guide your design process. So I don't want you to create many user stories, even for the project and the design. I want you to take one particular user and create a user story for. So you can interview one user who like to travel or who like to use this application to book their travel destinations. Let's say you interview someone and you get their story. What are their requirements? What are their previous experiences in using particular applications? And how you can improve, how you can add all these requirements is suggested to your designs or your application. So only follow one user story and do your design. So even the design process, you have to create a user story. User story is something like this. Okay, so if you create a persona, I already mentioned about persona. So you can select one particular user and create a bio for him, and there's some demographics, some information about their needs, pain points they are facing currently, and what are their expectations, and some of their slogans when you interview them, or uh, when you read articles about them, you get to know about all these details. So create a persona and create a user flow.
How
So
to
user
create one, sir? Actually,
persona,
yeah.
yeah, you can use Figma Jam by, for an example, let's say you go to Figma Jam.
Actually, sir, I've never have experience with this app. I mean, this is my first time, so it
Yeah.
will be hard, huh? Creating an app?
No, it is actually not that hard. So for an example, when you go here, you have Figma Jamboard. Click on that, and they have different templates right here. So if you want to start with template, click on this button and then search for a persona. Here we have user persona and template. And we have all this information. So if you interview them, you can add their name, some slogan, age, occupation, and some details about them, description, maybe their social media links. It don't have to be a real person. You can imagine and put all this, and you can understand it about their personality, so it will help as well. And you can put some interests they
We can
told us.
directly edit it here.
Yeah, we can directly did them here.
Oh,
Do them here by adding text or whatever, and you can share this link in your final deliverables. So this is the easiest way to demonstrate your persona or what you did in user interviews. Okay, and then you have to create a user story is done, and then maybe you have to create a user flow diagram as well. User flow. So user flow diagram, I mentioned it earlier. So in here, what you have to do is you have to get one starting point. So ideally, when users signing up to your application, if I look for a user flow diagram, it has templates in here as well. User flow. Something like this. So starting point can be home page. This is a mobile application, so starting point can be a splash screen or login or onboarding process and so on. So you can start with that. So entry point is there, and when we are showing them our splash screen with the welcome message, you can add it here, and then sign up screen. And after they signing up, we might have an onboarding process where we describe all the things that we can do within our application. Something like this. So we can mention them, what are the things that they can do within the application with simple illustrations or the images that you like. After you put on the onboarding process and do some research about competitors such as TripAdvisor, Booking.com, at least two, and create low fidelity wireframes based on your research findings. Give me 1 second. Research findings, and then create low fidelity wireframes illustrating the layout and flow of the app. Focus on user interaction, information hierarchy, and ease of navigation. So you have to focus on user interactions. User interactions we learned about that when we talked about what are the most accessible areas in the screen that users can perform action. So you have to make sure all your call to action buttons, such as book now or select a date from the calendar, are accessible even for users who don't have who might have visual impairment, motor impairment, and so on. So you have to make sure it is accessible for all users. And then information hierarchy. So how you can represent different elements in your screen. For an example, let's say if you're designing your dashboard or a main screen, you need to have search bar on top. And there can be some cards like these we created today with all the travel destination, image of a travel destination, and then some text and the price and some call to action button at the bottom where they can select. And you can use this kind of a slider to place all the travel destinations in your design. So it will be really beneficial for users when they are using specifically the mobile screens. And then ease of navigation. You have to think about when you're designing a user story, you have to understand what is the starting point and what is the end goal. So starting point could be signing up and coming inside the application, the dashboard screen, and the endpoint can be successfully book a travel destination. So you have to show this in your user story or user flow diagram as well. So you don't have to be complete user flow diagram. I only ask you to take one user and create all these designs and diagrams and wireframes based on that particular user. So that will be easier. And then use Figma. Figma is preferred, but if you are comfortable with other applications such as Adobe XD or Sketch app, you can use them as well. Or design tool of choice to craft high fidelity design for the app's interface. Emphasize visual appeal, consistent design language, and intuitive user interaction. So you have to select your colors to match this particular theme. So we are doing a travel app, and you have to do your research about what other applications are using, what colors, what color themes, what these colors are representing. For an example, let's say TripAdvisor, they are using green color. Why are they using green color? Why Booking.com is using blue color? And you have to have a good idea, and you have to have a rationale about your choice of colors as well. And then we have consistent design language. So as I showed in this example, if you create this kind of a design system, your design will be consistent throughout your designs. So you are not going to design buttons all over again. You are not going to design this kind of a cards every time you need one. You have a asset library, and you can drag and drop them to your design. So that will maintain same consistency throughout your designs as well. All right, and intuitive user interactions. So you have to make sure that user experience is streamlined as well. So when you do the design, when you come up with your design flow, when users click on a particular button, let's say on dashboard, they click on particular card. Let's say this one is a travel destination to somewhere. So when they click on that, this particular button, we have to show them all the details about that particular location. Where is it located? Maybe the map location, when it is open, when is the check-in time, when is the checkout time, how many guests are allowed, what are the options, images with the gallery, and so on. So you can show them all the details in a detailed way. Okay. Next one, develop an interactive prototype of app design to showcase its functionality and user flow. Prepare a short pitch presentation outlining app's concept, key design elements, and walkthrough of the interactive prototype. Explain how design enhances the travel experience. So when I say prepare a short pitch presentation, I don't need to prepare a slideshow or anything. If you can demonstrate it in your Figma itself. So if you can guide me through the process of your design thinking and how you come up with different colors, and guide us through the user flow and what is the starting point through Figma itself, it is actually enough. So if you have time, you can create a presentation using Google Slides or Microsoft presentation tools as well. And you have to explain whatever you create, you have to explain what is your design thinking process and rationally behind your design decisions that you took. Okay, that is the guidelines, and this is the evaluation criteria. You have to present concept and ideation, originality of the travel lab concept and consideration of user needs. So you have to be original, even though you get ideas from different websites, such as you can go to Dribble and search for travel experience application. You can go to Behance. You can read some articles in medium.com and so on. And maybe you can search some research articles or case studies. But you have to make sure you do your designs by learning from them. Don't just try to copy what you followed. Try to do something your own. And next one is to create wireframes. You have to create clarity and logic in illustrating the app's layout and user flows. So wireframes, you can just create pencil and paper wireframes and present a picture. You can take a picture from your phone and present it in and put it in your Figma and present it when you do your presentations. So it don't have to be a detailed wireframe by using an application, just can be a sketch. UI design, application of design principles, visual appeal and consistency in high fidelity design. So after you create the wireframes, you can move on to high fidelity design. You don't have to spend much time of low fidelity design because we have very limited time frame as well. And you don't, if you want to get feedback from users, it will take some time. So make sure to do your wireframes and then start off with high fidelity design. So in high fidelity design, I want you to apply the design principles that you learn during the lectures. And visual appeal should be there. Visual appeal can be, you can demonstrate it by selecting matching colors and selecting nice design elements, images, and typography, and call to action button placements. So everything can be applied under visual appeal. And consistency also should be there. So every time you are putting a heading or a paragraph or a call to action button or even an image, you have to maintain the same consistency that you applied before. So that should be there in your high fidelity design. And finally, prototype and pitch, functionality and coherence of the interactive prototypes, as well as the quality and clarity of the pitch presentation. So when you are creating your prototype after you done your designs, visual designs, make sure all the functionalities. For an example, when you click on search bar, it should load the search options. And I don't want you to create all the screens. Let's say at least 4 to 5 screens will be enough. It should include signing up process, onboarding process, dashboard, and some item details, travel destination details. So that will be enough in your designs. And finally,
The final result will be an app or kind of presentation, a slide.
presentation. It is so you can decide
you
it.
Example, like
Yeah, you can actually decide. Okay. So for an example, when you do your design for a travel application, let's say so your final prototype can be something like this. So it is a clickable prototype. So users can easily follow the user flow, and then when they're clicking, it will. I don't want you to put these animations or anything. I will tell about how to use animations and how to add micro interactions in our final session. So just create the prototype like this. So if you are comfortable with creating just a Figma prototype and present it yourself, so you can guide us through the process, it will be enough. Otherwise, if you think you can create a presentation and do a better job, like presentation in Google Slides or Microsoft PowerPoint, you can create that as well. But you have to create the final prototype in Figma. So I don't require you to create slides, just create the prototype and guide us through the process you follow and all the screens, what this screen is about and why these buttons are placed here and what users can expect from this particular screen. So you have to describe them when you do your presentation. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this assignment challenges students to apply their UI and UX skills to create an engaging scenario, focusing on designing a user-friendly travel experience app that reflects both innovative thinking and user-centered design. So deliverables will be the Figma link and any supporting materials such as the picture of your wireframes or user flow diagrams I mentioned, or any user persona I mentioned, you can create using Figma itself. You have to submit your work here. So and you can upload whatever you completed, and we will review it next week or week after next. So we will decide on the date based on your feedback. All right. So if you have any questions regarding the assignment or anything that you learned so far, you can ask. We have about 30 minutes.
So actually, I feel kind of confused and scared as well because I've never done one before. So
Yeah.
how will it be?
Okay. So for the you followed the designs that we did so far, right? In here.
Yeah, I have to
Okay.
try it once.
Okay. Try it once more. Actually, it will be easy if you follow the video recording and do it. So from the first session, we have described, let's say, you remember this part, right? UX design process.
Yes, sir.
Whenever we get a project, we first have to empathize with our users. So in the empathizing step, what we can do is we can interview users. We can do read literature about particular project, or do some user interviews and get their input. And you can ask your co-workers, and you can ask your client about what is their end goal and everything. So that is come under empathize process. So in this particular capstone project, I don't want you to do everything, but just interview one user or maybe one of your friends or someone and get input. So interview questions, I already mentioned some interview questions here. In this scenario, why do you ride a bicycle? So in our case, we can ask questions like, why do you travel? What are the destinations you prefer? Who are you traveling with? What do you do when you travel? So how often do you travel? So those are the questions that you can ask. You can follow these slides and you can tailor your question based on the requirement. Okay, then so you will get to know about
Sir,
your use. Yeah.
interview questions also, do we have to include somewhere? I mean, for the final assignment?
If you can at least include 5 design questions, or you don't have to present it. If you can tell them like, these are the questions I asked and these are the feedbacks I got from one particular user, that will be enough.
Okay, so this will be first stage. Can you just navigate through the assignment like that example?
Yeah, so this is the first stage. So where you interview users and ask them questions such as things I mentioned. And then what you can do is you can do some competitor analysis. Competitor analysis, you can follow applications such as TripAdvisor, Booking.com, and so on, and try to find the good things about them, 5 good things about them and 5 bad things. You can go to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store reviews and read the good reviews that users put and get an idea about what the users are saying about these applications. So at least 2 competitor analysis should be there, 5 good things and 5 bad things. And then we have defined all these research findings. We have to define them and create a wireframe. So in the wireframe itself, you have to make sure you put all the necessary details there. How do we place our search bar? What is the process that users should follow? So you have to create wireframe in the process as well. So if I tell you in detail, the first one, you have to do a user interview and you have to come up with user interview questions and then competitor analysis. At least 2 competitors with 5 good things and 5 bad things about them. Then create your user persona with the details of the user, their name and their occupation, their age, what are the interests they have, how often they
Excuse me,
travel.
sir.
Yeah.
So the persona, like, what is the, I mean, do we need to have a template or just with their
Yeah.
detail?
Yeah, this kind of a template will be fine. or the
Okay, so
interest
for
influence.
example, to enter the name and all, where should we?
Yeah, you can interview someone, or you can hypothetically put someone's details and follow the design process as it is, because you have very less time.
Okay, these templates also we can get through Figma
Yeah, when you,
community.
no, not community. When you open a Figma file, we have option called new Figma Jam board, FigJam board. So
Okay,
click on that, and then we have option called start with template here,
okay.
and click on that, and then you can search for whatever you like, persona, and it will give you a persona diagram, and you can add the template and change the text accordingly. You can put an image if you like and do the changes.
So basically, this one frame is for one person, right? So
Yes.
2 to 3 frames will be enough for 3 person.
No, I only need one persona. So we are only following one person's user story. And I mentioned 5 details about when we talking about competitors. So at least try to list down 5 good things about competitors and 5 bad things about competitors. You can use a table to do that. Okay, pros and
So
cons.
after that only we are getting one persona for one person, right? This
Yeah,
one
yeah.
is okay.
Yes. And after you create the persona, you maybe have to create a user flow diagram as well, as I mentioned earlier. So this is the user flow diagram. So you can create and you can add any screens in between as well.
So can this persona and the user flow diagram, can we do it as a slide, like page 1,
Yeah.
page 2, page 3?
Yeah, you can do it that way. And
So
even you can,
it should not be active app kind of format too.
sorry?
Should it be active, like can we scroll it and stuff? Should
Yeah,
that be available?
yeah, in Figma Jam it is available. So you can add anything here, and you can copy this one and even add this in this code as well. So you can create everything here, every material that you need here for the research. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Not the
Sir,
design file, Figma Jam, right?
Yeah, Figma Jam for your research and diagrams.
Right, okay. The design parts should be in there, and how to link everything together, I can drag
Yeah,
and drop design and I'm sorry.
no, when you submitting your form, are you talking about the submission?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
all together we have to get it to one
Yeah,
particular.
what you can do is you can copy the link of this Figma Jam file and separately copy the link of this design file and paste it in your submission. So you will get an option I don't have that option because students have that option to add text or upload any content that they like when they submit it.
Ah,
All right. So
So as you said, one persona, we can get one user, like the registered user, right?
yeah.
She or he can do these things.
Yeah, only one user story is required. So you don't have to worry about other screens or other user stories.
Oh.
Okay,
sir,
after,
can you upload a example, meaning
yeah,
this project? No, can you just upload an example of it so that should be similar? Our project should be similar to that, so that can have an idea how it should be presented.
Mhm.
Can you just upload an example?
Yeah, uploading an example in design projects, I don't think that is beneficial for you because you might follow the same, because in creative industry you have to have a independent thinking, and you have to think about what you have to do, what you have to put in your presentations. So can you Google and find out something? So I will add some reference. I'm not going to add a complete one in the travel industry, but I will add some different domains presentation that we did. So you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
follow it and apply it in this example.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And if I have any hardships doing this project, can I contact you?
Yeah, this is my email address. I already added it in Google Classroom, or you can use WhatsApp group chat to ask any questions.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So after you create, let's go from the beginning. So first you have to interview few users, and then you have to do competitor analysis, and then persona, and then user flow maybe, and then do your wireframes. And after wireframes, we normally have to do a few runs of refining our wireframes and get feedback. I don't want you to do this here because it will take time. And then directly go to your prototype, high fidelity prototype, and do your designs there and make it a presentable prototype, as I mentioned. And then finally, we don't have to do the testing here. Do few tests, like if it is working correctly, are buttons taking us to the right places, and just do the designs in a flow. And finally, you have to present it. So in the presentation, I want you to mention about what is the rationale behind selecting different colors, different component type sets. What is the user flow you followed? What is the persona? What kind of person he is, and so on. So you have to present them. You don't have to create a presentation. Just telling the story will be enough. So I think if you have any questions, you can ask now. We have a few minutes as well. Let's ask one by one. Aisha, any more questions?
No, sir. So far.
Okay. How about Pumi? Rishad?
So far, clear, sir.
Okay. Sobani?
Where fix animations for the project.
The line is not clear. Can you ask again? I'm sorry.
Where can we find graphics project?
Yeah, you mean the animations or graphic?
Yes.
Can you send a text message? The line is not clear. Group chat. So
Yes.
how about Suleiman? Vital?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Sabani asked few questions. Will you be able to show how to create sliding placeholder and also how to resize a card? Can you suggest from where we can get good images graphics for the project? So you can use Google search to get the graphics, and there are some other sources as well. So if you are willing to pay, there are many. You can use Shutterstock or any other content provider services, but there's a website called Pexels where you can download free images. So those are not copyrighted, so you can use it anywhere in your designs. You can search whatever the terms you like and use design. And there's another thing called free pick, and some of them are free, and if you need some paid materials, you can download them as well. There are many. If you Google like stock photos or anything, graphics, they will give you examples. Graphics. Is it clear, Sobani? Okay. So I'm going to end the session for today. If you do you have any more questions, you can
Sir?
ask. Yeah, sure.
So we can refer all the presentation slides now, which you are explaining every day through Google Class.
Yeah.
I mean
So
slides, not the presentation.
Yeah, slides are there. So these are the slides. These are the recordings, and these are some other materials that you can follow in
And
Google
also,
Classroom.
in this assignment, all are the things which you have taught us in between these sessions, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So
If you
basically, what we have to do is first we have to do this ask the questions and competitor analysis with good things and bad things and one user persona and the wireframe, the user flow diagram or something, and the design that we are doing, right? That's all, right?
yeah, that is all.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, I'm going to end the session for today. So, do you need 2 weeks to
So if you have any questions in between weekdays, can we ask
Yeah.
through? Yeah.
Yeah, you can ask through WhatsApp or you can email me if you have any doubts.
Okay.
It is already in our capstone project.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. Yeah.
What
Do
do you
you
mean
need
as 2 weeks?
for the assignment to you need 2 weeks or just 1 week is enough?
Sir, I need 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay, let's
I
change the
wanted to do this correctly, so I'm not sure whether like.
yeah. So let's change the assignment submission date to 13. So 13th Saturday, midnight, you have to submit. So on following Sunday, we are going to discuss about the project. So if you
So
haven't,
we have to submit into the particular
yeah, Google
folder,
Classroom,
isn't
Google Classroom. So when we go to classwork and
Actually, sir, 14th April, I'm having it hard to join because I'm
yeah,
leaving abroad.
okay, okay.
So
So will you be able to record your presentation and submit it as well earlier?
I'll try, sir.
Okay, okay,
I'll try my best.
okay, cool. All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks, but in between, if you need another session next week regarding the assignment, you can send a message so we can plan. Okay,
Sure, sir.
okay.
So next, so sir, next session will be the last session, right?
Yeah, next one will be the last.
With this, with the demonstration, basically we all have to demonstrate it.
Yeah, you have to demonstrate it. And finally, I will do this presentation where I will give you 20 tips to get your first UX design job and how to improve your career. That will be there in the final session.
Okay, so the next class will be not next week, the after that week, no?
Yeah, after next week.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, okay. Have a nice day then. Bye-bye.
But sir, 13 will be New Year holiday week, right? As I see the deadline
Yeah.
date.
Yes. So can you do before that on 11th?
Yeah,
Okay.
the class will be when?
So I will put the class before that then. But the deadline will be 11th. Is that okay? We can't go beyond that actually.
I'm okay with that date. I'm not sure about others since it's a
I'm
weekday.
okay.
Okay, I will put a like a poll on a group chat. I will ask administrative staff to put that so you can vote and select the date. Okay,
All right. Okay.
okay, okay. All right then. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.